What are the top 5 altcoins to buy right now? The markets are starting to heat up. We have Ethereum getting close to pushing above $5,000. We have many altcoins showing double-digit gains. And so we're starting to see a lot of momentum shift from Bitcoins into other cryptocurrencies. And so if you enjoy this video, do me a favor and hit the like button and subscribe for future videos. And let's go ahead and take a look at Ethereum here. This is starting to gain much more attention here, currently at $4,800. And we can see this is starting to push new all-time highs. I'm not surprised to see this, right? We had a lot of bearish momentum down here when it was around $1,500. Now since then, we have over a 300% return. And so if you're interested in trading cryptocurrencies, there is a link underneath the video to Weex exchange. They have spot and futures trading on the platform. Now let's go ahead and take a look at this here. ETF inflows. Spot ETF inflows for Ethereum were $8.2 billion since the beginning of July. For Bitcoin here, we're at $4.8 billion of inflows. And so we are seeing a lot more attention and inflows into the Ethereum ETFs. And so we are starting to see a massive shift. If we take a look at some information here on this chart, we can see the total altcoin market cap. This is the 2018 cycle. This is the 2021 cycle. And right now we're looking at breaking out to the upside here. And so we can see we have not put in a new all-time high yet, but we are getting very close. And we can see the move, right? We can see the peak here, we can see a peak here, and I do expect a peak to be around $4 to $5 trillion in the altcoin market this go around, right? Now that could definitely increase, but it is something that I'm paying attention to. I think we will see a similar gain like we have seen in the past. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at this. In addition to altcoins and Bitcoin, we also have companies that are starting to add Ethereum to their treasury. One of these companies is Bitmine with Time Lee. And so, Bitmine now holds $7 billion worth of Ethereum. And so this is massive, right? A lot of people pay close attention to what Tom Lee has to say. He mentioned that Bitcoin was going to go to $50,000 when it was at $2,000. Now he's saying that Ethereum could easily go to $10,000, if not above. And so one cryptocurrency I do want to pay attention to that Tom Lee has mentioned before is Bittensor. And so this is the number 1 AI crypto out there, currently at $372. If we take a look at this report here from April 16th of this year, Fundstrat, which is owned by Tom Lee, calls Bittensor the Internet of AI. And so this is a whole report here talking about Bittensor, the subnets, and what he thinks it could accomplish. And so we saw him talk about Bitcoin, now Ethereum, and I am expecting Bittensor to be discussed in the future. And so the next cryptocurrency I want to talk about here is the obvious one. This is Ethereum. And so right now, if we take a look at this chart, this is Ethereum versus Bitcoin. And so we can see the cycles again here. We have the 2017-2018 cycle, the 2020 and 2021 cycle, and then we have the cycle going on right now. And so if we take a look at this pattern here, we can see once we broke above this orange line right here, we had a massive move. And then we had a big peak up above here. And then it came back down. And then we had the other cycle. We came back down, bounced off of this line, which we just did this cycle back in May. And then we saw Ethereum go from about $1,500 to $4,500. And so we're approaching this area here against Bitcoin. And this is where Ethereum starts doing very well. This is where we start having an altcoin season. This is where altcoins start having massive gains. We could easily see $10,000 Ethereum. Right? If we just take a look at this orange line at the top here, we can see in the previous cycle here, broke above this line, moved all the way up. And then in comparison to Bitcoin, we were right around that 0.088 level. And at current Bitcoin prices, that would mean that Ethereum's at $10,000. And so let's take a look at another cryptocurrency. We have Aerodrome Finance. And this is one that I talked about a few weeks ago when it was trading under $1 here. I posted on X as well. That this is very simple, right? It was forming this pattern right around 75 cents. We ended up bouncing right off of that, and then we ended up breaking through this resistance. And now it is close to $1.50. And there is a reason for that. Coinbase has recently announced that they are going to allow tens of hundreds of thousands of different cryptocurrencies to be bought on their DEX. And so we can see they only have 5% of the Coinbase users onboarded so far, and the DEX volume here is at $1.93 billion. Well, if we compare the volume here and overlay it with Aerodrome's chart, we see a lot of similarities. They have come out and stated that they are using Aerodrome for liquidity, and so I expect this to continue to go much higher. If we take a look at the next cryptocurrency here, it is Ondo Finance. Now, Ondo has an event coming up very soon on September 3rd, which is going to have a massive impact on tokenization. We can see that they have posted on X that markets are going global, and they have the date of September 3rd. And so Ondo Global Markets are going to be going live, tokenizing lots of different stocks. We can see that all of those contract addresses have already been generated. And so this will be massive for Ondo Global Markets. Let's take a look at Chainlink. Chainlink is a cryptocurrency I believe should be much higher than where it is trading right now. If you look through a lot of partnerships, Chainlink is almost mentioned in every single one. Chainlink has been mentioned by JP Morgan, DTCC, by Swift. Chainlink is going to be massive. This is going to be a massive player in the cryptocurrency space. And this is currently at $26. I would expect this cryptocurrency today to be at $100. And so if we go on their website, we can see here, they mention Global Enterprise leverages Chainlink. We have Swift, DTCC, that processes about $3 quadrillion of transactions every single year. We have Google Cloud. We have JP Morgan that's using Chainlink and Ondo. And so we need to pay attention to what is actually happening. We may not see it on the front end, but they are being mentioned and discussed. They're being looked into. And this is very bullish in my opinion. The last cryptocurrency I want to talk about here is Telcoin. I've talked about Telcoin many times on the channel. This is currently at 0.005. And I think there's a lot of upside potential for Telcoin. If we take a look at this chart, right, we have this massive peak back in May of 2021, when Telcoin went almost up to 6 cents. This was when the approval for Telcoin to become a digital asset depository took place. Now, we are getting very close to the actual digital asset bank launching. This is going to be happening in the next couple of months, especially by the end of the year. And I think this will have a massive impact on the price for Telcoin. I think we will go well above the previous all-time high of 6 cents. They have mentioned there's a lot more adoption and interest in Telcoin since the Genius Act was passed. They have MNOs now reaching out about more clarification on what Telcoin is accomplishing. And so they have been laying the groundwork for many years. They've been working very closely with state representatives to make sure that they are meeting all the legal accommodations for Telcoin and becoming a digital asset bank. So this is definitely something that should be on your radar here, just because they have been granted approval. They have everything in line. They're just waiting. They're crossing the T's, dotting the I's for final approval before launch. And so if you enjoyed this video, do me a favor and hit the like button and subscribe for future videos. Let me know underneath the comments what one of these cryptocurrencies is your favorite. What do you think is going to have the best returns? And if there is another cryptocurrency out there that you think I missed, please let me know underneath the comments. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you in the next video.